All the finalists are requested to keep their videos on. And I hope everyone has joined that group and joined the Zoom meeting through the link. If someone's missing, please ask them to join as soon as possible.
Would we be bouncing to pounds here?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Would we be bouncing to the pounds here wala?
Yeah, you'll be sending your answers to the Zoom chat to me. That is the pounds here option. And please refrain from answering in the everyone. So send it privately to me. Just right before pouncing, just mention your team number, as in you are team 5. So team 5, the answer, send it to me privately. Don't send it on everyone in order to prevent the scrapping of a question. So just can one member from every team confirm their presence, like team 1, one member?
Yeah, team 1 both are present.
Okay. Team 2? Team 2? Is there anyone from team 2? I can see team 6, 8, 7, 5, 4, 1. Team 3 and team 2 haven't joined, I guess. If we have someone from team 2. Team 3, anyone from team 3? So it's 6:50 now. We'll wait for a minute or so. If team 3 doesn't join, unfortunately, we'll have to start. Anyone from team 3, please confirm. Yeah, team 6, you can do that. So guys, we are going live on YouTube on Nambi Rajan sir's channel. So do subscribe it. Last call for team 3. Anyone from team 3?
Sahil, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. Could you just repeat the instructions for pounds?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll
Where
do
do I
that.
have
Just
to?
waiting
Yeah.
for team 3. We'll do
Okay.
that. For team 3. Okay, unfortunately, as we are not running late, so we should start. So we'll be having 7 teams in the finale. Okay, so can we move on to the next slide? Abhishek, can we move on to the next slide? Now, again, thanks to everyone who has helped me out in conducting this quiz. The same people as were mentioned yesterday. The next one. Okay. Sorry for this. We have 2 rounds with 18 questions, a clockwise and an anti-clockwise round. 9 questions in the clockwise round and 9 in the anti-clockwise round. And the rules as we move on. And please don't Google save data.
So there are no written rounds at all.
No, no written rounds. Just give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Sorry guys for the technical glitch. Anyways, I'll explain you the rules. As you can see, there's a member called Pounds here. You need to send in your answers in case of a Pounds to that channel only privately. Please don't send the answer to everyone. Send it to Pounds here. That is me, in fact, privately. And Googling will not be encouraged. So I'll get to know if someone is Googling because the questions are filmed in that way. So please refrain from Googling and do contribute for the fundraising quiz that is being organized now. It's for a good cause. Do contribute whatever amount you feel like if you like the questions. Okay, sorry guys for the technical glitch. Anyways, can we move on to the rule slide? Next one. Yeah, so 9 questions starting from team 1. Clockwise, bounce +10, no negatives. Bounce +10, -5. Now, in case of bounce, if a team is unable to answer continuously, that means if a team is unable to answer the first question, the next question would be for team 2. The as we call it, the Bangalore bounce. I guess everyone's clear with the rules, and I'm repeating, send in your pounds to the pounds here chat privately. Please refrain from sending it to everyone in order to prevent scrapping of a question. So good luck. Question number 1 to team 1. This 2.5 inches tall artifact has a long-standing history with no trace about its exact origins. After over a century of use, there was a deterioration in its quality and was reinforced with silver plates to prevent further damage. But even with the extra support, it could not last for more than 2 years. And the last time it was put to use was in the 1950s. Unable to find the perfect size raw material for its reconstruction, the Indian embassy was approached, and later that year, a new version with floral touch was presented on behalf of India. What artifact am I talking about that might remind you of a certain land distribution system which has a partial inheritance property, and who on behalf of India presented the artifact? So I'm looking for an object that had a poor quality because it had been used for more than 200 years. And after its wreckage, after it broke down, the raw material required for its construction could not be found. Therefore, the Indian embassy was approached and someone on behalf of India presented a replica. So what object am I talking about, and who on behalf of India represented it? I'm sorry, presented it. It's
Wait, so the original thing was not from India. So India presented a replica.
The second thing, or the second version, was presented by some Indian. So it's open for pounds to team 2 to 8, and it's a direct for team 1. We'll be closing the pounds in some 15 seconds. So those who want to pounds can send in.
Are you giving any hints for it?
Yeah, if teams pounds, I'll block the I won't give any hints. So I'm giving 15 seconds time. If I don't
just
receive
a clarification on what team 1 asked. So the original has no connection whatsoever to India.
No, the original has no connection to India. The second version was borrowed or was gifted by India because the raw material that was required, some part of it could be found in India at that time. In fact, I'm looking for an object, a very special object. Pounds is open.
Hints, please.
If I don't receive pounds from any other team. Okay, so since no one is pouncing, I'd like to give you a hint. The reason behind the exact time it broke was 1952 or something, and was due to a heated debate on nuclear power or nuclear energy. It broke during a heated debate on nuclear energy, somewhere around the 1952. So we'll close the pounds in 10 seconds. And do send in your pounces privately to the pouncer option. Please don't send it on everyone. And someone who presented it on behalf of India was also, you can associate him to be first to hold certain post. The first Indian to hold a certain post. So I received a pounce from Sonak Kumar Mahakul. Which team are you from?
Just a confirmation, did you tell the timeline of the original object? Like when was it used or something? Like the original
Has been used. No, there's nothing mentioned like that. But since someone has pounced, I won't give further hints. Just confirming. Sonak Kumar Mahakul. Which team are you from? Sonak? Sonak, which team are you from?
Yes, I just.
Hello, Sonak.
Sahil, just one clarification, not doubt. Like this, after over a century of use, this is from 2020 or the 1950s ka thing. Like just
The item
after
broke
over.
in 1950s and was replaced in 1952 itself, in that particular year only. And has been in use till date. The second version, which was the presented version, the replica. Anyways, we'll close the pounds. Team 1.
Okay. So the second part we are guessing is, since you said nuclear energy, so Homi Baba. And the first part we'll guess is something to do with Big Ben, like Big Ben ka watch ka clock ka something.
Okay. Team 2.
I was actually going to guess the same for the person, but I'll pass on the artifact.
Okay. Since no one's from team 3, team 4. Team 4, what's your guess?
We pass. We don't have any vague idea even.
Team 5.
We are gonna guess Laughing Buddha, the miniature Laughing Buddha, and the person was Homi Jahangir Baba.
Okay. Team 6.
Pass.
Team 7.
We're guessing the artifact is the statue of Nataraj, which is there in CERN, and the person is Homi Bhabha.
Okay. And closing the lineup, team 8.
We are two guessing it as Homi J Baba and passing for the first part.
Okay. So since no one answered, can we move on to the answer slide? So it is the US Senate gavel that broke while Nixon was trying to control a debate on nuclear energy. Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan gifted it on behalf of India, the first Vice President of India. So no team gets a point over here. The next question would be a direct for team 2. And the partible inheritance system being Gable kind. Anyways, team 2, it's your direct now. Now the lady pictured here had two controversial incidents associated with her life, one before her death and one after. The incident that was associated with her before her death was, before her execution basically, was something she planned which changed due to someone's deteriorating health conditions. And that's why the later had to work from a confined place. However, she was able to finally accomplish her task, and that's why she was executed. The only proof for her presence in the scene were the documents that were found near the letter. Similarly, after being executed, there were some controversies associated with post-Enlightenment philosophies by revolutionaries. In 1974, German surgeon Dr. S.T. Sommering in the Parisian newspapers that consciousness of feeling may persist even if blood circulation is terminated, partial or weak, which was rubbished by French doctors. So basically, what incidents she was involved in? Both were controversial. Both created some sort of controversy, one for a medical fraternity and one from revolutionary point of view. And in the first case, the only proof that one can get, a layman can get about her presence is the presence of from a document present near the letter. So what two incidents was she associated with?
Are
the
the
first
two
second
incidents related?
Sorry?
Are the two incidents related in any way?
No. They are not related in any way, because I told you now, the first one is something to do with revolutionary, and the second part is something to do with a medical fraternity. Some medical connection. I'm looking for some medical
Okay,
connection.
so the second thing is 1794 wala, right?
Yeah, after her death, after she was executed.
The timeline is the same, or like near about 1794 for the first one?
The timeline is same. Maybe a year before, in 1790s. You can take it as 1790s. So what are the two incidents? For the first part, if you tell me where will you come across this lady, I'll also give you points. Where have you come across this lady? We'll close the pounds in 15 seconds. It's a direct for team
Okay,
2.
team 1 is bouncing. Just
Okay, team 1, I'll wait for your pounds. Any other team bouncing? We'll close the pounds now. I received a pounds from team 4 and team 1. Okay, so team 2, it was your direct. Give it a shot.
Okay, firstly, a clarification on the first part. You said, where can we see this lady?
Yeah, basically you won't find her, but some documents will justify her presence.
Okay, I do not have a clear idea, so I'll just guess. Is she the first ever female surgeon, but she was posing as a guy because women weren't allowed to study surgery at those times? But I think she was English. So, I mean, I remember a story like this, but I think she was English. So yeah, that's my guess. I'll pass on the second one.
Okay. Team 4. Sorry, team 4, you pounds. Team 5.
Okay, for the first part, we'll chimp on team 2's. Like, yeah, she was a doctor. She was the first lady doctor. And for the second part, like, we will say that she was executed, and while she was, maybe her eyes were blinking. So they thought of something as an explanation to people having voluntary motions even after they die.
Okay. Team 6.
Sir, the killing of Marat, anything like that.
And the second part?
Second part, sir, no idea.
Team 7.
For the first part, we are also going with the same answer, like she was the first lady doctor and she performed the first surgery by a lady doctor. For the second part, we're saying that after she suffered brain damage, maybe she wrote a book about her procedures and her experiences.
Okay. Team 8.
We are passing.
Okay, so team 2 pounced or team 1 pounced on it. Can we move on to the answer slide? So it's in fact Charlotte Corday, the lady who murdered or assassinated Marat, and you'll find her mentioned in the painting "The Death of Marat." And the second part being the second instance being the idea of people being alive for a few seconds after being beheaded. That caused a chaos in the medical fraternity. So on that note, plus 10 to team 1 on giving you a correct answer on pounds, both the parts. Minus 5 to team 4. Plus 5 to team 5 for that being alive after execution, and plus 5 to team 6 for the death of Marat. And no other teams get any point. So since team 6 answered some part of it correctly, next question will be a direct for team 7. Yeah. Several theories have been put forward for the origin of the term with one explanation pertaining to the practice that became illegally monopolistic due to the Sharon Antitrust Act of 1890. The term was actually first coined by publicists who drew on readers' familiarity, trying to draw an analogy with huge impact. The trade press subsequently appropriated the term as shorthand for commercial potential. It entered the American lexicon as a metaphor for something shocking and explosive, and that transition too can be seen in the pages of Time as the magazine started using it to describe surprising news. But it didn't take much time for the word to be used to refer something specific, which in fact turns out to be the present usage of the term. So basically the usage of a particular term has been mentioned here, which refers to some theories of 1890 Act, then was used by publicists for referring to huge impact. Then trade press used it for commercial potential, to justify or to define commercial potential. Then in American lexicon, it was used to describe something shocking and explosive. Time also used it to describe surprising news, but currently it's used in a completely different field and has been associated in that particular field since a very long time. So what term am I talking about that had these various meanings since its origin? I'm looking for a term, and the meanings of it have been mentioned that changed with passage of time. But currently it has settled down in a particular genre or in a particular aspect and has been used there since so many times.
What team is this a direct for?
It's a direct for Team 7. So I received a pounce from Team 6.
So the current field is totally different from the fields mentioned in the question, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. We'll close the pounce in some 15 seconds. Pounce closed. Pounce closing now. Okay. So yeah, Team 7, take your guess.
Is this scoop?
Scoop. Okay. Team 8.
You heard me right? It's SCOOP scoop.
No, it's not Scoop. Sorry, it's not Scoop. Team 8.
Is it intervene?
Intervene. Okay. Team 1.
Yeah, one sec. So yeah, so okay, we'll guess this is greenfield for greenfield investments and all.
Okay, so business world. Okay. Team 2.
Is this tabloid?
Tabloid. Team 3 is in the Team 4.
Is it blockbuster? Blockbuster.
Can we move on to the answer slide? Perfect answer there, Team 4. It's blockbuster, currently used in the film industry worldwide. Rather, it had earlier connotation since so many times. Made for huge impact or something shocking. But now that huge impact refers to the film industry. So plus 10 to Team 4 and plus 10 to Team 6 on the pounds. And no other team gets any point for this. It was a direct for Team 4 answered it. So next question, question number 4 will be direct for Team 5. Okay, easy one, I guess. Various theories have tried to justify the cause of the entire occurrence. However, there exists no such concrete proof that can back the speculations. The actual event dates back to the 1200s and is said to have created a surge of tourists for the past 300 years. According to eyewitness accounts, the event concluded at a particular spot, which in fact is the residence of the mastermind behind the occurrence. Since then, the location follows a certain custom that has been associated with prohibition as well as a mark of respect. So what event am I talking about and what custom thus evolved? So this is the place where the custom is followed and the event is said to have concluded. Now, if no one's blocking, I'd like to give you some hints. Okay, so yeah, so that occurrence is as far as we know, that occurrence that event has happened twice as per our knowledge. One was for the was in the favor of the people, and the second part was against. So I'm looking for the second part basically. And after that event, some ritual or custom was made, because at this concluding point, that against part ended, that not so good incident ended, as well as it was the place where the mastermind resided. So yeah, so what event am I talking about, and what custom or what ritual do the people follow at this particular spot, which is also the residence of the person behind the occurrence? In case you're pouncing, I want both the parts.
So by ritual, you mean whoever goes to this place, even now he does the same thing, does the same ritual.
As in, he does the same. He has to abide by the rules that have been set up there. A certain custom is there. There's nothing like the puja we do. There's nothing like that, but something associated with the event. In fact, the occurrence.
Okay, so the 1200 wala is the first instance or the second instance? Like you said, there are two, and you need
the occurrence is said to have happened. That both the instances happened in that particular 1200s only. Both the instances happened in 1200s only. Just in a gap of few days or weeks or months. No specific mentions on any source basically, so I couldn't give it. One was in favor of the people and the other was against. And in fact, the people were responsible for it. Or specifically, the head was responsible. The head at that time was responsible for this. So we'll close the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pounds closes. No team pounced. Yeah, it's a direct for team 5. Team 5, take your shot.
For the event, we're gonna say this is the gunpowder plot, and the custom thus evolved. We're gonna say like goons wearing masks, the Guy Fawkes mask that was famous. So yeah, that was the custom thus evolved, like
Okay,
during such occasions.
Okay, moving to team 6.
Sir, no idea.
Team 7.
We're guessing the event being talked about. That's the search for the Illuminati's chambers. And the custom that thus evolved is the fact that the Pope now travels in a bulletproof vehicle.
Okay, a good guess. Team 8.
Oh, we are passing.
Team 1.
So the event is, will get signing of Magna Carta, and the second
Okay.
thing will pass.
Team 2.
No idea, I'll pass.
Team 4.
It might have something to do with Giordano Bruno, but I don't have any idea. We'll pass.
Okay, since no one got it. Any idea from your childhood memories of two events, one in favor and one in against? Anyone would like to take a second guess? Okay, so can we move on to the answer slide? So 130 children vanished from the city of Hamelin after the head refused to pay the desired amount to the Pied Piper. And since then, that street where the Pied Piper resided stops people from playing any kind of music or dancing. So no such musical instruments or dances allowed at that particular place. Hence, that was the event, the vanishing of children. The first was the vanishing of the rats, the second being the vanishing of the children. So no points to no team. This was a direct for team 5. Next question will be a direct for team 6. Okay, the boss of Imogen was kidnapped in 2012 which caused global outcry with significant media coverage. However, was found after 3 days without much effect on health, except for a slightly sore leg. Since then, security has been increased and radio transmitters are used to keep a track of the location so as to avoid such mishaps from happening again. Considering behavioral aspects, he, on a personal note, has a disgust for people in hoods. Who are we talking about? Who is said to have an operational base spanning across 42 acres, in fact, the largest office as compared to all other colleagues he works with. So basically, Imogen is this particular employee's assistant, who was, this employee was kidnapped in 2012. That made a global news. Since then, radio transmitters are used so as to keep a track of this employee, and has a personal disgust for people in hoods. The operational base of this employee spans for across 42 acres, and in fact, which is the largest office coverage area as compared to any other employee or any other colleague. So who are we talking about?
So matlab only his individual office is only 42 acres ka?
Yeah, his operational area is 42 acres. We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds.
Any hint?
Okay, so in terms of hints, this particular post was created in the early part of 19th century and has to do something with okay, that would be a giveaway basically. So yeah, that this post exists. The timeline of this post is some nearly 200 years old. This particular post is from the 1800s, the 19th century or 1800s, a 200-year-old post. And this employee has been working maybe for more than 10 years. We'll close the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I guess I received no one's pounds. Okay, now it was a direct for team 6, I guess.
Sir, pass. No idea.
Okay, team 7.
Is this the protagonist from The Boss Baby?
Okay, a good guess. Team 8.
We are guessing it as the pet of Queen Elizabeth and like in Buckingham Palace.
Okay, team 1.
We'll guess this is like the protector, like the Queen of England owns all the swans in England. So we are guessing this is the guardian of the swans in England belonging to the Queen.
Okay, team 2.
Is it the royal horse? Something to do with that?
Probably on the right track, but not the correct answer. Team 4.
Something to do with Prime Minister of the UK?
No. Team 5.
Okay, so we're gonna say this is the Queen and probably the kidnapping of a queen or something related to that.
Okay, no. So yeah, can we move on to the answer slide? It is Rufus, the hawk that protects the Wimbledon area, the area where the tennis court of Wimbledon, and his operational area is the entire arena or the sports arena where the Wimbledon is carried out from the pigeons. So it is Rufus the hawk. Okay, so no team gets point for this question. So next question is a direct for team 7. Collection and dealing of this item became a real industry in one of the South Asian countries. Men and women were involved in this business. Everybody assigned different tasks. Women pleated coconut mats used for extraction and men were involved in transportation. Variety in forms and shapes offered these items a perfect protection against forgery. Furthermore, value was determined on the basis of their weight. However, the specific use they were put to help them gain some space as a representative of one of the central organization of that South Asian country. So what item am I talking about and how are they connected to the organization? So if you talk about South Asian countries, so basically a coastal related item. And how is it associated with one of the central organizations of that South Asian country? The way they are extracted and the value measurement will definitely give you hints about what item am I talking about. Extracted using coconut mats. And then since they have most of them have a similar shape, identical to each other, therefore value is determined on the basis of weight rather than counting them in single pieces. So what items are these and how were they connected to the central organization for which they served as a representative?
Team 1 is bouncing.
Okay. We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds. Pounds closes now. So it is a direct for team 7.
These items could be sea conches or seashells, and the organization, I guess, the use of the logo of the Thai bank or something.
Okay, team 8.
We are passing.
Team 1 pounds. Team 2.
I'll also pass.
Team 4.
We'll pass.
5. Team 5.
Okay, so we're gonna say this is the jersey for the Bangladesh cricket team, and yeah, like yeah, the item is the Bangladeshi jerseys cricket team. Yeah.
And how are they connected? Anyways, we'll pass it to team 6.
Sir, pass.
Sir, is it choir?
Who said it?
Team 6.
Okay. So can we move on to the answer slide? In fact, these are the cowrie shells or the Maldivian cowrie shells, and they serve as the logo of the Maldives Monetary Authority. On that note, +10 to team 1 and +10 to team 7. Maldives, if you would have mentioned Maldives Monetary Authority, that would have been better. Anyways, +10 to team 1 and team 7. So it was answered on a direct by team 7. Moving on to team 8. In the Malayalam movie, Chira Kodinja Kinavukal, one of the characters talks about a Nobel laureate setting up a museum.
Sir, the last question team 6 directly answered.
It was a direct for team 7. Team 7 answered it on bounce. So the next question is a direct for team 8. They answered it right. So the next would be a direct for team 8. Okay, so in the Malayalam movie, Chira Kodinja Kinavukal, one of the characters talks about a Nobel laureate setting up a museum that was initially scheduled to be exhibited in 2008, but took 4 years for inauguration. Said to have been based on one of his works, that is an account of a love story set between 1975 and 84. The artifacts displayed here show evocative of everyday life and culture during that period. Furthermore, one who carries a copy of the work is allowed free entry owing to a certain feature addition present in the work, though following the rules of admission applicable to other visitors. So which museum and or work both have the same name, in fact? And what inbuilt feature in that literary piece am I talking about? So basically, the museum and the work, the museum has all the materials or all the artifacts that have been on display that have been mentioned in the book itself. Adding to that, the book also has a certain feature that helps people, that helps the buyers or the readers of the book free entry to that particular place. So what inbuilt feature am I talking about? And what is the name of the museum or the work? And it has been written by a Nobel laureate who won the Nobel Prize, I guess, in 2006. Yeah, in 2006. So the inbuilt features allows the readers of this particular book, if they carry it, they are allowed free entry because of a certain feature in the book. Except this free entry, other aspects remain same for every visitor. The only privilege given to the ones who carry this work to the place, to the museum, is free entry because of something present in the book. A very generic or simple answer required in this case, and for the work or museum, a specific one. So this is a direct for team 8.
The author's name won't work, right? The author.
No, the author's name won't work. I gave you a hint about the author. In fact, he won the Nobel Prize in 2006. So we'll close the pounds in 10 seconds. And a reminder,
Can we get any hints on the feature? Like what inbuilt feature? Like could we get something to narrow it down?
It's associated with entry, of course. It's associated with entry to any place. So what can be there in that book which allows you to enter freely, whereas others who are not reading it will have to pay. We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds, and if you're pouncing, I want both the parts, otherwise a -5, even if one part is correct. In case of a pounce. On bounce, you are free to answer. So pounds closes in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Team 8.
We are guessing it as for the Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus.
Okay.
And something to do with the Grameen Bank and like that. In Kerala, too, lot of banks and all which borrows down loans such funds. So one of his book may have some sort of Grameen Bank rules or codes, something related to that. And,
okay. Team 1.
Okay, should we answer?
Yeah.
So the author is Orhan Pamuk, and the work, it's something called the Red something. I can't remember. The Red City, the Red something basically. And the second part will go with the cover of the book has a key, chabi. So basically that's symbolic, like you have the key, so you can enter. That's all.
Okay, quite impressive guess. But no, team 2.
Just trying to steal one's answer. If it's Orhan Pamuk, is it the Museum of Innocence? And for the second part, the ticket is included on the last page, like the ticket to the museum, similar to Willy Wonka's concept. It's there in the book itself, on the last page or cover or something.
Perfect answer, team 2. It's indeed the Museum of Innocence by Orhan Pamuk. So +10 to team 2. And the 83rd chapter of this book contains a ticket that needs to be punched before entering the museum. Apart from that, every other aspect regarding visiting and all that remains same for every visitor. The one who carry the book have the free ticket inside the book itself, so they can freely enter the museum. So +10 to team 2. And team 1, I can't give you points for just naming the author. So I think you took it for the Nobel, you took it for the book that made him win the Nobel Prize. I was looking for the work that he wrote 2 years later, in fact in 2008. So +10 to team 2 and no points to any other team. Next question will be a direct for team 4. Okay, so initial analysis described the condition as polio, which was later discarded by neurologists. Symptoms such as loss of touch, sensation in the limbs, skeletal deformities, muscle fatigue, and cramping indicated that the subject was suffering from a hereditary motor and sensory neuropathy of the peripheral nervous system. Further characterized by paralysis down the waist, the muscular dystrophy confines movement and has no curative treatments currently. So I'm basically not looking for a disorder. This is the description of a disorder, and this is how the person suffering from this disorder, these are the symptoms. The picture is a symptom or a symbol of that disorder. So where has this disorder been immortalized? That is often perceived as an embodiment of a strong sense of longing. So basically this disorder inspired someone to create something that immortalized it. And in terms of creating that work, he though got inspiration from someone else, he used his wife to create that work. So basically, where will you come across this disorder? If you have a close look at that at the answer I'm talking about, if you have a close look on the subject, you'll get to know that the subject was suffering from this disorder. So where has this disorder been immortalized?
Could you please explain the second part of the last sentence? Often perceived.
Basically, in normal terms, I would like to say if a person, as you can see the leg, if a person is seen like this, they are considered to be handicapped. And for our society, for the handicaps is like a kind of hell. Still, the subject tried not to make it as a failure, though could not lead a prosperous life, but even tried to live a happy life, even though she was suffering from this disorder. And thus this inspired someone to create something that immortalized this disorder. But for knowing about this disorder, or for knowing that the subject was suffering from such a disease, you need to have a close look at the creation. So
any
where
hints
will
or
you come
anything?
across this?
Some time.
Timeline would be give away. Okay, so this was basically created in the summer home. So the creator got inspiration from one of the neighbors, because the subject was one of his neighbors, and he used to spend some time in his summer home. And while in one afternoon, he saw the subject doing something that inspired him to immortalize this disease. We'll close the pounce.
I also pounced.
Okay. We'll close the pounce in 10 seconds. Pounce close. Team 5, please send in your pounces. I won't accept any other team's answer. Okay, so it was a direct for sorry, whose direct it was? I guess it was direct for team 1.
I think team 2
it is a
answered
direct
the
for team
last
4. It's a direct for team 4. Sorry, it's a direct for team 4. Yeah, team 4, take your shot.
So is it some disease which has the word tooth in it? Tooth.
I'm not talking about a disease. I'm not asking about the disease. I'm
Question is
asking
too
where has
vague,
this...
like समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
Okay, team 5 pounds, team 6.
Sir, it is the Charcot Marie Tooth disease. It is being shaped as like a heart symbol so that the people can get love from the other persons.
So where have you come across this disease? In the heart symbol that we often use.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so team 7.
We're guessing this is the disease that Cinderella had, which is why her slippers were shaped in an odd manner.
Okay, going through the picture. Okay, good guess. Team 8.
We two were going to guess at a heart symbol.
Okay, team 1.
Okay, so we'll guess this is a painting, and the painting ka name, we're just finalizing between two answers, just a few sec. So, okay, so, okay. So this is the painting of Renoir, where there's a lady. The painting is called The Lady or something, and where the lady is sitting or something. The painting.
Okay, it was direct for team 4. Can we move on to the answer slide? It is Christina's World, where you see her dragging herself towards her house. She was suffering from the Charcot-Marie Tooth disease, in fact. But I was looking for where has it been immortalized. So nothing except Christina's World. So no team gets points over here. -5 to team 2 and -5 to team 5. Though team 5 was on the right track by answering a painting related stuff, but I didn't, but nothing to do with the answer, in fact. So this was a direct for team 4. Next question would be direct for team 5, the last question of round 1. Easy one. The Colombian economy is the 5th largest in Latin America with a GDP of 336 billion in 2018 and grows at a rate of 1.8% per year. The goods mainly exported were petroleum, coffee, and cut flowers. However, the economy experienced a boost between 1970 to 2000 due to the country's involvement in a trade of a certain commodity and ended up being the main exporter by the 1990s. More specifically, in 1987, the Colombian economy grew by 5.5%, all during the height of the trade, with profits accounting for 2.7% of the overall GDP. But there was a sudden decline in the GDP in the initial half of 1990, following which the graphs kept fluctuating for a decade or so. So what reason was thus cited for such a fluctuation in the GDP after 1990? Something happened in the initial part of 1990. That's why the GDP reduced. So if you know what kind of goods or commodity was Colombia famous for, then you can easily get it. I received a pounds from team 1. Yeah, I received a pounds from team 1. Pounds closes in 10 seconds. So
yeah, team 5 is bouncing.
Yeah, go on. Team 5, can you a bit build up something? Yeah, your answer has some terms, but I want what happened in the initial part of 1990 that led to the reduction. We'll give you one more chance. Okay, so yeah, we'll close the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Basically, it was team 5. It was your direct, in fact. Anyways, you pound, so we'll move it to team 6. Team 6, your guess?
It's no idea.
Team 7.
Was the export of bricks for the Berlin Wall?
Okay, so after the fall of the Berlin Wall, the GDP fell down.
Maybe.
Okay, team 8.
Any laws that abiding crackdown of on drugs or exporting of drugs had been made illegal.
Okay, team 2.
I'll pass.
Team 4.
Pass.
Okay. So team 8, you were on the right track about drugs. So can we move on to the answer slide? So it was the death of Pablo Escobar, after which the cartel shattered, and thus the drugs export reduced. So I was specifically looking for the death of Pablo Escobar in 1993, because of which drug export reduced and the GDP went down. So plus 10 on this to team 1 and team 5 on pounds, perfectly cracked. So after the first round with 9 questions, we'll just have a look at the scores. Team 1 is at 30, team 2 at 5, team 4 at 5, team 5 at 10, team 6 at 15, team 7 at 10, and team 8 yet to open the account. So are the scores fair enough? Or anyone has any other problem? Okay, so I'll take it as a yes. Okay, so now we'll move anti-clockwise and move on to the next slide. Yeah, we'll move anti-clockwise, 9 questions starting from team 8. Same rules apply. Question 1 for team 8. Yeah. So endow your thought with faith, your deeds with courage, your life with sacrifice, so all men may know the greatness of India. This is the original piece that was modified by Lord Irwin. The upper portion has an egg surmounted by a bronze lotus flower and a 6-pointed glass star, and the bas reliefs around the base are designed by the British sculptor Charles Sargent Jagger. Therefore, and that's the base. In fact, in the base only, these wordings have been inscribed, but in a modified form. So where will you come across these 4 to 5 lines which don't look like a poem but are? And who proposed the original version? In fact, this is the original version. This is the original version, and the modified version is present on the base of something that was designed by sculptor Charles Sargent Jagger. So where will you come across the modified form of this so-called poem, and who proposed or who has written it? Who actually wrote it? So 2-part answers.
Any hints
for
on
the
who
writer?
actually?
Yeah, any problem?
Yeah.
Any hints
Can we
for
get
the
any
writer?
hints on? Yeah. Who proposed the wording?
Okay,
Team 4 has bounced.
So sorry, I can't give you any further hints since team 4
This is a
bounced.
direct for whom?
This is a direct for the previous one was a direct for team 5. So this is a direct for team 6. So the previous one went to team 6. So it's a direct. I guess this is the 10th question. No? So it's a direct for team 6.
Actually,
direct for team
it's in the anti-clockwise order. I
it's a direct
guess
for team 8.
team 8. Yeah, it's team 8 direct.
Yes, it's our diagram.
We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds. It's a direct for team 8 and team 4 bounced. Closing the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Team 8.
We are guessing it as the gate or at the entrance of Rashtrapati Bhavan. So proposed by Edward Lutyens and Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Team 7. Team 8, I'll request you to switch on your videos, please. Team 7.
Is this inscribed on the army baton? And the person who proposed the wording might be Rabindranath Tagore.
Okay. Team 6 bounced. Team 5.
Yeah, so we're gonna say this. We see this on the Paramveer Chakra, and for the proposal, we're gonna say this is Subhash Chandra Bose.
Okay. Team 4 bounced. Team 2.
So the inscription is, we can see this in Jaipur column. For the second part, I'll pass on the, no idea.
Team 1.
So, okay. So we are guessing the first part is the Star of India, like the medal and all, the Star of India. And the second part we'll guess Rudyard Kipling.
Okay. So can we move on to the answer slide? So in fact, it's the Jaipur column, and it was penned down by Sir Edward Lutyens, the designer, the architect of Delhi. So plus 10 to team 4 for getting both the parts. Team 6 was correct on Jaipur column, but they wrote Lord Irwin, which was already mentioned in the question. So I wasn't looking for Lord Irwin. Plus 5 to team 8 for Lutyens, and plus 5 to team 2 for the Jaipur column. Since it was answered by team 5, team 2, next question is a direct for team 1. Okay, so formerly known as Bar Ptarmigan, this merchant vessel, along with 5 others, was purchased by the British government in the 1850s so as to search for the Arctic expedition of Sir John Franklin. However, during the voyage, it was trapped in ice and was abandoned, only to be recovered by an American whaler, George Henry, near the Baffin Islands in the 1850s. Before retiring in 1879, it served in the Royal Navy but never left home waters. Post-retirement, after undergoing certain modifications in 1880, it found its place in the government as well, fulfilling both official and private needs. The list of its users includes prestigious names belonging to a particular group, except 3 members who didn't use the modified version. So what was it used to create, basically? So this vessel, this ship that served various purposes or various roles in different organizations, even had some role to play in the government. And in the government, it had to undergo some modification or variation, and the final product was used by a group of people who are considered to be prestigious, in fact, except 3 of that particular group, except 3 people. All others are said to have used this particular thing. So what purpose did it serve in the government, or for what use was it put to in the government? I received a pounce from team 6. We'll close the pounce in 10 seconds. So if anyone wants to, can go for it. The list of users includes many prestigious names.
The pounce came on everyone, so I guess everyone can see that pounce. Yeah, it didn't come to specifically to pounce here.
Someone pounced it to everyone.
Yeah, from team 6.
Anyways, the answer is incorrect. The answer is incorrect. I didn't want the name of the ship. So without further ado, I'll close the pounce. Just I won't scrap the question because that's not what I was looking for. If someone is answering the name of the ship, it's in fact a Google Funda. Because if you know what it was put to use in the government, then you won't answer what's the name of the ship. So team 1, take your guess.
Should we answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is indeed HMS Resolute, and this was made for the US president ka chair, like the Oval Office where the US president sits. So that chair is made from the wood of HMS Resolute.
The chair.
So that's
okay.
how it is. No. The Oval Office ka, the chair, the desk, whatever.
Okay, so yeah, take 10 points, team 1. Can we move on to the answer slide? This is the Resolute desks used by the presidents of US, and -5 to team 6, +10 to team 1 on this. So HMS Resolute, the timber of which was used to make the Resolute desks used by the US presidents. Okay, so next one is a direct for team 8. A symbol of postmodern architecture, the design of this structure is highly influenced by its locality. Located in a downtown area, a heated roof was a must so as to prevent snow from accumulating and sliding dangerously off the curved crown. Owing to such a style, the bottom part of the building follows a similar pattern and thus resembles something that was created by a saloon owner to prevent the employees from pilfering his profits. What is this? Which structure is this? And if you look at the structure carefully, what is its design based on? So basically, for the structure, I'd like to give you a hint that it was a part of certain mishap that happened on Father's Day. And in its entire locality, because of being located at a higher elevation or a higher altitude kind of thing, it is the highest, or with the highest roof, it is the highest roof building in the entire city or locality, whatever you can say. And the design is based on something that was created by a saloon owner in order to prevent his employees from pilfering his profits. So 2 parts. What structure is this? Once a victim of some mishap that happened on 16th of June, basically a Sunday, considered to be Father's Day. And what is its design based on? Created by a saloon owner. If you look at the image carefully, you'll get to know what its design is based on, what it looks like. This is a direct for team 8. Pounds open, will close in 10 seconds.
So the left wala building is what the thing is, na? Like not the total thing. So the left
both. In fact, the left wala building, if you look at it, look at the roof also, you'll get to know what the structure is based on. The bottom portion and the top portion both look the same. Both have the same design, same structure. That was inspired from the creation of a saloon employee. Sorry, saloon owner. We'll close the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and
wait, I'm
1.
just typing. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, since team 2 just told me, I won't accept any other team's pounds except team 2's. So please don't pounce. Team 2 send in your answer, then we'll go to team 8.
So
Yes.
who direct is this?
This is team 8's direct.
Okay.
Team 8, take your guess. Team 8?
Can we?
Yeah.
We guess it's as the hairstyle of Donald Trump. So is it Trump Tower or something like that?
Okay. Team 7?
The structure we're going for Trump Tower, and the design would be based on a hair trimmer.
Okay. Team 6?
So the Trump Tower and the design is like a shaving razor.
Team 5?
Yeah, same. For the second part, we're gonna say trimmer, and for the first part, yeah, we don't have.
Team 4?
So this is the Wells Fargo Center, and it is inspired from a cash register.
Okay, plus 10 to team 4. Can we move on to the answer slide? It's the Denver Wells Fargo Center, and it resembles a cash register. So plus 10 to team 4 on this, and plus 10 to team 2 for giving it a great answer on pounds. So the next question will be a direct for team 2. Usually homicidal in manner, suicidal being not so common and accidental being the rarest, this form of asphyxia has been reported mostly amongst the female population. The accidental version of it, if at all occurs, is often seen at the extremes of life or individual under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or under the influence of any trend. The first ever reported case was in the 1920s due to the use of a fashion fad and involved someone whose life was as much dramatic as death. Until 2001, there was no reported case of survival because they followed the style because it happened due to following a certain trend or style, and it often ended up with freakish fatal injuries. Thus, no people survived. In medicine, this form of disfigurement or wound has been named after the first victim. In fact, the person mentioned in the second paragraph, whose death was dramatic, quite popular in some other field. So what is being described over here? Some condition, some medical condition or injury that occurs due to following a certain fashion fad that has been trendy, or I'm not sure whether it's trendy now. And the first ever victim was someone quite popular in some other field, and in fact people refer that person as the mother of something. So due to this fashion fad or this fashion element, this happens mostly among the female populations. And being an accident is the most rare case. So what am I talking about? It's a direct for team 2.
Any hints, please?
I gave you the hint that the person involved, the first ever reported case was for a person who has been who was famous for in completely different field and has been referred to as the mother of that particular field. People colloquially call her the mother of that particular field she was a part of. We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds. Pounds closes in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Team 2.
I don't know about the person, but is this due to wearing corsets, like the small-sized corsets, which probably cause suffocation or something like that?
Okay, team 1.
Okay, so the funda will guess is something like a dupatta. So basically, they put this, the ladies put this on their necks and all, and that can be used to kill you. So something like that. So
How
to
can
asphyxiate you.
how does it how can
Like
it be
basically,
used to
say
kill you?
example can be say in the car ke wheel mein it gets stuck or someone kills something like that.
Team 8.
We are passing.
Team 7. Team 7.
Is it because of wearing straight jackets?
Okay, so dislocation of bones and all. Okay, team 6.
Pass.
Team 5.
Yeah, for the person, we would say this is Mata Hari. And yeah, we'll jump on to what the previous team said that she wore corsets, which led to the disfigurement of her backbone or something like that.
Okay, team 4. Team 2. Sorry, it was a team 2 was team 2's direct. Okay, so can we move on to the answer slide? It's the Isadora Duncan syndrome. In the wheels of vehicles, leading to suffocation and death. So plus 10 to team 1 for giving the funda, and a good guess by team 2 about the corsets. So Isadora Duncan was in fact called the mother of dancing. She was a great dancer. So plus 10 to team 1. Next question will be a direct for team 8. Archibald Blanc was an official of the East India Company who was kept as a prisoner in the French for nearly 4 years, by the French for nearly 4 years. After returning to Bombay in 1784, he was given the then considerable sum of 200 euros on account of his long captivity and suffering. Rather unexpectedly, he also seems to have been something of an inventor and entrepreneur, as he invented a machine which made a considerable improvement in the packing of cotton that helped him receive a government commission in 1803. However, his efforts as a lieutenant in the Bombay Marine led to the colonization of a particular location and improvised its defense capability while dealing with wars. Thus, these contributions resulted in a tribute to him. So what tribute? The surname has been blanked because it would be a giveaway. So the biggest
size
hint
is
being
correct, na? Like the indicative size.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
The blanks are
Blank
indicated,
size.
right?
Yeah, there are 5
Yeah,
blanks,
yeah,
right, in the answer.
Blank is sorry, blank indicative. Blank is indicative. Blank is indicative. The biggest hint being he was a part of the Bombay Marine, a lieutenant of the Bombay Marine. And after this, his efforts, he was promoted a captain in 1792. We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds. I guess I received the pounds from team 1.
So
Pounds closed. Team 8.
Okay, it's how the Andaman's capital Port Blair got its name. It's Archibald Blair. So Port Blair.
Perfect answer, teammate. Perfect answer, teammate. It's indeed Archibald Blair. Can we move on to the next slide? He was the person to have carried out the surveying of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And in his honor, something that was named after Cornwallis, I guess, got renamed, and thus he got the Port Blair. So plus 10 to team 8. The next one would be a direct for team 7.
Team 1 also.
Yeah, team 1 also got a plus 10. I mentioned it. Yeah. Team 7, it's your direct. The first ever change dealt with reduction of size of the containers, resulting into the now familiar design that was created for Christmas season with the innovative idea of attaching a string to hang from the Christmas tree. Next on list was the number and variety contained in each box that is said to have varied since 1990s, since 1900s. The current incarnation contains 22 components, with latest addition being something whose name comes from a native word meaning no water. The feature that was changed recently, most recently, in fact in 2018, has been associated with the object or the product more than 116 years. Coincidentally, the change, that is in 2018, the change was implemented, which was a year later, that is in 2017. The company, the dealings and the naming after which the product was named of a certain company, the company closed down. And thus, after it in 2018, under the pressure of some organization, this change was made. Though under pressure, it meant for social good. So what is being described here, or what recent change happened? I don't want the name of the product. I just want what was the recent or the latest change that one can see there. After an organization pressurized it, and after the company whose dealings inspired the product in its nomenclature and the feature that has been associated with it since 116 years. So certain feature was there which was inspired from a company that closed in 2017, and under the pressure of an organization, some changes were made, considered to be the most recent change, and other changes have already been included or explained in the first paragraph. So what is the most recent change to have happened in the product? It's a direct for team 7. Other teams can pounce. We'll close the pounds in 10 seconds.
Any hints?
The organization involved is a non-profit organization working for social welfare, in fact, of a particular category. So we'll close the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, team 7.
So we're guessing that from the depiction of the nativity scene, the reindeers and other animals were removed because of pressure by PETA.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you repeat?
On the animals in the depiction of the nativity scene, including the reindeers and all the other animals, they were removed because PETA pressurized them into doing this.
Okay. Team 6.
It's a pass.
Team 5.
Yeah, we'll pass.
Team 4.
team 4 will pass.
Game. Team 4.
Team 4 will pass.
Team 2.
I'll pass.
Team 1.
Okay, we'll chimp on some other team ka answer. We'll say this is indeed Pita ka thing, and the company is exactly Corning. So Corning, they make Gorilla glasses and something. So Gorilla glass ka nomenclature was inspired by Gorilla and all, and so probably the name was changed from Gorilla glass to something else.
Okay, team 8.
We will pass.
Okay, so can we move on to the answer slide? The closest answer from team 7, in fact. So it is the Barnum's Animal Crackers. The difference, the latest change was removal of cage, and now the box features the animals roaming freely. Earlier they were caged, which is in fact inspired from the circus, the Barnum Circus, that closed in 2017. So the recent change was was pressurized by PETA. So they removed the bars, and now the animals roam freely on the poster of the box. So no points to any other team. This was team 7's direct. Next will be a direct for team 6. They were conceived in the early half of the 19th century as a method for preventing reuse of something else. The first ones were red in color, handmade, and depicted a Maltese cross design. The color was subsequently changed to black for better contrast, and the Maltese cross gave way to numbers, which referred to specific locations. Multiple methods have evolved over the years and today include bullseye, differential, mute, etc. So what am I talking about? So I'm looking for something that was used for preventing reuse. So basically, if you put your common senses together, you'll get what basically happens in any office in any official paper to prevent its reuse. So they were used for that particular purpose. So what am I talking about? That also comes in different variants like bullseye, differential, mute. Then if no one's blocking, I'll give some other variants as well. Okay, so there is something called the flag version as well. We'll close the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is a direct for team 6. Team 6.
So is it something related to cancellation in mails?
Perfect answer there. Plus 10 to team 6. These are the cancellation stamps. These are the variants of cancellation stamps. Plus 10 to team 6. No other team pounced. So next question. Before that, this question was 17 and 18. Let's have a quick score check. Team 1 is at 60 points. Team 2 at 20. Team 3 at 25. Sorry, team 4 at 25. Team 5 at 10. Team 6 at 15. Team 7 at 10. And team 8 at 15. So good with the scores, or anyone has any issue? Okay. So moving on to the penultimate question, which is a direct for team 5. According to some, these existed as a result of necessity and to have a proper distribution throughout the body rather than being concentrated at one particular point. Historians claim that these might have been introduced in 1850 to reduce the amount of raw materials used in the making process. Health benefits were also cited as one of the plausible reasons. As per some theories, these might have come up to ease someone's task while controlling a ship or just to facilitate an easy display. So, whose origin is being discussed over here? So these are the plausible explanations trying to justify someone's creation or something's origin. So whose origin is being discussed over here? Mainly for introduced mainly to facilitate proper distribution throughout and to avoid concentration at a particular point. Then health benefits were also introduced so that and they also help in reduction of the use of raw materials. And the most interesting and accepted theory, though not true, is that to reduce someone's task while controlling a ship and taking inspiration from some other product's display, this idea was also implemented so that easy display could be done. So what thus originated? This is team 5's direct. We'll close the pounds in 15 seconds.
Who's direct? Whose direct is this?
Team 5's direct.
Oh, my direct.
Pounds closes now. Team 5.
Yeah, so we're gonna say this is the ship captain's cabin, and yeah, this they kept it at the front so that the chimneys, which due to which his vision might be blurred. So yeah, the ship basically the ship captain's cabin was at the front of the ship.
Okay, there. So this these are the reasons trying to explain why a ship captain's cabin is at the front of the ship. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, team 4.
We'll pass. Let's see.
Team 2. Team 2. Team 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word. I cannot. Whatever is put in right in front of the ship, I'll pass. Cannot think of the word.
Team 1.
Okay, so this is about the positioning of this, like positioning of gun, not guns, the cannons in the ship key, where you have to position the cannons. So it's about distribution.
If everyone's taking it in that way, okay. Everyone's focusing on ships. So yeah, team 8.
We are guessing it as the modern variants of seat belts and all, the ancient variants of seat belts.
Okay, team 7.
Maybe this is for maybe this is the creation of aviators or sunglasses.
Okay, team 6.
Pass.
Okay, so before moving on to the answer slide, let me tell you that this has nothing to do with ship. This was in fact something to do with food item. Can we move on to the answer slide? These are the explanations justifying why there exists a hole in a donut. And the most interesting one being the person, I don't remember the exact name, it's some Gregory or George, the ship captain, who is said to have invented donuts. He just took the homemade pastry that was packed by his mom and plucked them on the edges of the steering wheel of his ship. That made it easy for him to consume it as well as to focus on the movement of the ship. And from that, the donuts get a hole in the between. And other explanations being for distribution, for health benefits, so on and so forth. So moving on to the last question of today's quiz. It will be a direct for team 4. So this institution was formed in 1448 by Margaret of Anjou, the wife of Henry VI, and was refounded by Elizabeth Woodville, the wife of Edward IV. As a result, the full name of the institution should include blank of Saint Margaret and Saint Bernard. What institution am I talking about, and how is the founding history reflected in its name? So just read that there was not a single founder, but multiple founders. So how has that been reflected in the name of this institution? This is direct for team 4 and open for pounds to all the teams.
To repeat what all you said just once, like what all you said, multiple ka.
Basically, just focus on that. For the second part, the founding history has been reflected in its name, owing to the fact that it had multiple founders mentioned above. The wife of Henry VI and the wife of Edward IV. So 2 founders were there, founded by someone, then refounded by someone. So multiple founders exist. So that's why there has been some change in the some.
So this is direct for team 4, right?
Yeah, we'll close the pounds. Then
Team 5 is pouncing.
Team 5 is pouncing. Okay.
Yeah.
Are blanks indicative here?
Okay, you'll get a negative if you give me an incorrect answer. Still, for just for fun, since this is the last question, no negatives on pounds. You get a +10.
No negatives, right?
No negatives on a pound. So every team can pounce except team 4. If you give me the correct answer, you get a +10. No negatives if you give me an incorrect answer.
Are the blanks indicative here?
No. The blanks aren't indicative.
Yeah, this is team 5. Did you receive a pounds? Like, do you need anything more?
Team 5, yeah, I received your pounds.
Yeah.
No, this is not what I'm looking for.
Any part points?
There are no part points basically on pounds. No negative and no part points. Okay. Some teams are on the right track, but the second part, I want a proper explanation of the second part. Anyways, we'll close the pounds now.
Wait a minute. We are typing.
Which team is it? Team 5. Okay.
Team 8.
Team 8. Till now, I have received the name of the institution from many teams, but the proper explanation. Okay, team 7 also gave me something. Excuse me. Team 8, can I have an answer? After that, we'll move to team 4. Okay, so team 4.
So this is the Queen's College, and the thing is the name is spelled Queen's and apostrophe after the S, indicating that this was founded not by one queen, but by more than one queen. Queen's College with an apostrophe after the S.
Perfect answer, team 4. It's the Queen's College, Cambridge, and the nomenclature has a proper view of its founding history, since it was created by multiple founders. Hence, Queens, the S, then the apostrophe, rather than the apostrophe being after N. Therefore, +10 to team 4. And I received the pounds of team 2. Okay, team 2. Okay, for just since this is the last question, part points if one part is there. So team 2 gets 5 on this. Team 6 also gets a 5. Team 8 gets a 5. Great work, team 2. Okay, so team 2 gave me the second part later. Okay, so yeah, team 2 gets a 10 pointer for this, and team 1 didn't pounce. Team 5 didn't pounce. So yeah, so let's have a final check of the scores.
Sir, what will be the correct answer of this question? Like why it is so named?
It's mentioned here. This is the Queen's College, Cambridge. So since it was founded by 2 queens. Basically, if we have to mention it as, say, India's college. So India, after the A, we have to put the apostrophe S, then the S, India's college. But since it was founded, it had multiple founders, 2 queens created it. Therefore, after the, instead of the N, we have the apostrophe after the S. Queens, the apostrophe, then college. Quite a
So
bizarre
like
name.
I wrote, it was founded by 2 queens. So will I get full points or part points only?
You'll get a part point because I mentioned it clearly in the question. Na, okay, there were 2 queens created it. I've mentioned both the names, both the queens. So there's no point in giving me that it was founded by 2 queens. Anyways, we'll wrap up with the scores. Okay, so we are with the scores here. So our clear winners, team 1 at 60, followed by team 4 at 35. Then we have team 2 at 30, team 6 and team 8 are at 20 each, team 5 and team 7 at 10 each. Can we move on to the next slide? Yeah, thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you had a great evening. So yeah, before going, I'd like to request you to contribute whatever amount you can. After all, it was a fundraising quiz aimed at collecting funds. And do give your feedbacks in the group about how this quiz was. Thank you everyone. We'll meet up with you with more sessions in the upcoming months.
Thanks for conducting, man. Really nice set.
Thank you.
Great set, great set.
Great quiz.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Workable questions, all of them.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward for some other quizzes, for some more quizzes of different genre soon. So do participate in them as well. And yeah, do contribute to some amount for this fundraising quiz. Anyways, thank you everyone. We'll end the meeting now. And I'll request you not to leave the WhatsApp group because in 2 to 3 days time, we'll send you the certificates. In fact, collecting your numbers from that group only. So if you leave the WhatsApp group, it will be difficult for us to collect your numbers. And yeah, we'll review the scores and release them in the finals group as well as in that prelims group. So thank you, everyone. You can leave the meeting.